If you're trying to become a product manager, the internet has probably suggested to you, build a side project. I mean, I've given that advice to tons of people. But there's a reason this advice is so common. It works. I have proof. I am the proof. 5 years ago, I was a lost tech girly, desperate to become a product manager, and this mobile app was the reason I got my product management job. So this is the what, the why, the how on product management side projects. And welcome back to my channel. And whether you're a green bean product manager or a seasoned PM, let's talk all things side projects. Let's level set. What is a side project? A side project is obviously something you build on the side. Duh. But seriously, it's something you build to showcase a particular skill set. They're super common in technical fields like data science or software engineering, and a way for people to showcase their coding and technical skills. If you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with the product management paradox, aka you need experience to get experience. It's one of the most frustrating things for aspiring product managers to deal with. But side projects are a great way to circumvent this paradox. You basically give yourself the opportunity to showcase product management skills, even if your day job isn't product management. Your goal is to build something that can be packaged, presented, and explained easily and quickly for networking and interviews. Most importantly, we need to showcase the product management lifecycle, which we'll talk about later. Common side projects you might see for product management are apps, websites, newsletters, podcasts, and that was the case for me when I built Weatherware, my product management side project. 5 years ago, I was dead set on becoming a product manager. I was in a job I hated. I was applying to product management jobs left and right, but getting rejected from everything. And most importantly, I didn't have any of the information that I have today that would have made the entire product management application process so much easier. Hence why I'm making this video. I was just so lost at how to make that next step. Then I got laid off from my job due to the pandemic. Nice. If I thought I was stuck before, I was literally so stuck now. Stuck at home, stuck in my career, and I was going crazy. I kept asking myself, how was I gonna progress my career if I didn't even have a job? At the same time, my sister sent me this video of a product manager from LinkedIn talking about how she built an app to become a product manager. I saw that video, and to me, the logic was infallible. If I built an app, I'd become a product manager. Spoiler alert, it helped. And it turned into the best thing I had done for my career up until that point. I attribute my app, Weatherware, to getting my current product management job. And my app started with a question: what coat should I wear today? Now, before we get to the how, let's talk about the why. Why, oh why, do we care about side projects? Side projects are a great way to make sure that your product management skills have a place to shine. Remember our product management paradox from earlier? We need to escape the cycle. You'll be able to show that you have product management skills before you have product manager on your resume. For my side project, I built an app called Weatherware. Here's the thing, the app sucked. It was clunky, it did the absolute bare minimum recommending a coat, but it was funny to talk about in interviews. And it gave me a great chance to talk about how I came up with the idea, what I learned, and what I would improve in the future. Even more importantly, I was able to take this side project and list it in the App Store so that anyone looking at my resume could click and see that it actually existed. Let me tell you, this app itself was nothing special. It took the current weather and recommended 1 out of like 8 types of coats. It was super simple, but I made something. I had something to show for it, and that was the most important thing. And I proved to myself that, hey, I could actually do this product management thing. Okay, Alex, that's all fine and dandy, but this video isn't your life story. Can you tell us how to actually build one now? Yes, dear audience member that looks nothing like me. I'm getting there. We need to show that we know the product management lifecycle, aka identify a problem, gather feedback, and iterate. First, identify a problem. This is where we're going to spend most of our time when we're building a side project. We're going to be identifying a problem, doing research, choosing a type of solution, and designing and building version 1. So this is going to be about 50% of our time. Next, gathering feedback. This is technically what a product manager is supposed to spend most of their time doing. I know you're busy, I'm busy. We need to be efficient with this whole side project thing. Thus, we'll spend about 25% of our time here. And then finally, iterate. This is where we take feedback from the section before and build version 2 of our product, another 25% of our time. Now, in true product management, this life cycle would continue on indefinitely. We want to complete one full rotation around the product lifecycle management sun. One rotation will be sufficient for what we need to do. So the first thing that we need to do when creating a side project is choose an idea. As I talked about before, we need to choose something that can be packaged, presented, and explained quickly in interviewing and networking settings. So you want to choose a problem area that is not controversial and you have some interest in. So first, we need to start by choosing a problem. And I recommend you look inward. Ask yourself, what problems do I run into on a daily basis? And how do I solve them? And you don't need to solve world peace with this, but I bet you can find a problem in your house that you can build a side project on. So you want to observe yourself when you say, I hate, I wish, or I want. I wish I knew what to make for dinner. Or I hate being cold. Or I want better clothes. And yes, you're probably thinking, Alex, people have already built those solutions. And I say, who cares? The point is that you're building this for yourself. You do not need to be a revolutionary to become a product manager. There are tons of products out there that solve the same problem. The point is you need to get your hands dirty and build something yourself. Because at the end of the day, that is what a product manager does. Okay. Back to the whole figuring out your idea. If you don't have an idea in hand, let's use the example of weatherwear, which started with the statement, I don't know what coat to wear. Now, let's ask ourselves, what's the core problem here? And that is, I hate being cold. I literally hate it. This core problem can also be called a job to be done, an unwavering need or want that will not change over time. And now, from that core problem, I hate being cold, we can map out a ton of different solutions. Maybe a scarf that folds up so small it fits in all of my purses. Or an app that estimates the temperature on my commute based on my mode of transport. Or maybe an app that recommends a coat based on local weather. And with that list, we've just opened up a ton of possibilities for side projects. New skill unlock, opportunity trees. AKA, take a problem, write out potential solutions. More importantly, do you see how all of those solutions relate back to that core problem of not wanting to be cold? From this list of solutions, we're going to be very practical. You need to choose what you think will be the easiest thing to build and what will be a fun conversation topic for interviews. And that's exactly what I did with weatherwear. Some of these solutions I wouldn't have been interested in or felt too hard to build at my current skill level. So an app that did an API call to pull local weather data and spit out a coat recommendation, that felt like something I could do. Now we need to talk about what's going to go into our minimum viable product, or MVP, and what we can push to a future release. Now, the startup gurus are going to come after me because I'm about to give you the wrong definition of MVP. To them, an MVP is building something to test one hypothesis. But we're going to ignore that and change the definition. We're going to define MVP as what is the most basic version of my idea that I can build. And now we're going to create a list of things that could be features for our solution. Here was a list that I used for weatherwear. I knew I wanted to be able to pull API data. I knew I wanted the user to be able to input a zip code, and I knew I wanted to be able to recommend a coat. Now we're going to decide what we're going to push into version 1, our MVP, and what we're going to push into version 2. Now for this exercise, I like to use what's called the Moscow method. Must have, could have, should have, or won't have. So basically assigning each one of the features that I've thought of to one of these 4 categories. Then we'll look at our must-have category and make sure those features are in version 1. I recommend doing this exercise somewhere where you can save the results. Google Sheets, pen and paper. Most importantly, we need to save this information for a later part of our side project. And look, we're building another product management skill. Prioritization. In any world, and product management world, we can't build everything all the time. So we need to decide what to build first. To design our side project, we're going to want to create some mock-ups. For weatherwear, I used a pen and paper to create a very simple step-by-step process of what I wanted the user to experience. This process of mapping out the product experience is known as wireframing. Get this, another product management skill. I'm just chock full of them today, right? If you don't want to use a paper and pen, I recommend tools like Figma or whimsical that allow you to do this wireframing process on your computer. Now you can start bringing these wireframes to your friends and family to get feedback, or you can keep building. So we've got our idea, we've got our features, we've got our wireframe. Now it's time to put rubber to the road and build something. And this is the point where fear of failure can really stop someone. So if you only get one thing from this video, is that you are gonna learn so much more from trying and failing than doing nothing at all. So let's build. When I was building weatherware, I had some coding knowledge, but at best I'd made a tic-tac-toe game that didn't have an exit function. So I went to YouTube and watched all the Code with Chris Swift video tutorials. I learned the absolute basics to get by and build an app, but I felt like learning Swift would be kind of just like a fun thing to do. But if you've never written a line of code, don't worry. You can absolutely use no-code platforms like Bubble.io or MakerPad to build your side project. So dear viewer, it's time for you to do the same and build. Find resources to build your desired side project that 1, match your current skill level, or 2, are skills that you want to learn. This is where you go and build version 1. This is what my MVP of weatherware looked like. I apologize that the video quality is a potato, but as you can see, it was really, really basic and just had those must-have features in this MVP. So once I had my MVP for weatherware done, I took it to my friends and family and asked for feedback. My goal here was to collect feedback from anyone that would listen to me. You will need to do the same. To collect feedback, I talked to people about what they thought about the flow, the purpose of the app, any recommendations they have for things that I should add. Asking them questions like, does anything feel confusing to you? What do you wish this app did? What do you think the purpose of weatherware is? And get this is another product management skill. You're welcome. We are learning how to conduct user interviews. And no, we're not going to be perfect at it. The point here is that we are beginning to build those product management skills. We're learning how to conduct user interviews, take feedback, and then iterate on the feedback. It's time to make version 2. So let's take all the feedback you got, the feature requests, and bring it back to our Moscow feature list. Now we need to update our Moscow list with features that have been built and any changes we have to our prioritization. And that process of updating the Moscow list, that's iterating. We're taking in feedback and making improvements for our users. Get this, another PM skill. This is also a great place that you can and should ask for help. For example, I hired someone on Fiverr to make my UI for weatherware, to take it from this to that. Is that a glow up or what? Sidebar, this is yet another product management skill, learning when to outsource and when to just build something yourself. So we've done all of that, let's build again. And now we have version 2. Congratulations.
Congratulations everybody on making it to Final 5. That is a huge accomplishment in Big Brother.
But we can't just hide our side project. That would be ridiculous. You've done too much work. How do we make this project public so that people can see it? This is so important. You need to make sure that your project is publicly available and linked on your resume. Now, I published weatherware to the App Store like 3-4 years ago at this point, and I don't know what year you're watching this video. So honestly, I would just Google to find a guide on how to get your side project public. If it's an App Store guide. If it's a website, figuring out how to add a website domain. If it's a podcast, getting on Spotify, etc., etc. You want the recruiter, the hiring manager, the interviewer to be able to click on that link on your resume and see your work. It is so much easier to show than tell, and you're showing them that you know the product management lifecycle. Weatherware was a huge part of my interview process for becoming a product manager. I talked about it in every single interview, mainly getting questions about why I chose to build this app, what I learned, and what I'd improve in the future. Weatherware helped me get my current product management job, and I have faith that if you follow this guide, you'll be able to do the same. Well, that was a whirlwind. Are you ready to build your side project? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found anything helpful in this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton. All right, let's get building.